What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. I'm Rebel, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about your trucks and how to adjust them. Queer Girl Straight Skates! Queer Girl Straight Skates is a YouTube channel full of roller skating tutorials, reviews, and general roller skating lifestyle videos. Right now, we are doing a maintenance series, so I hope you will just tag along and join. If you want to follow along, you can subscribe to my channel, and you should turn on the notification bell so that you can find out when I post. Okay, so let's jump into talking about trucks. So first off, what are trucks, Rebel? Well, there's something that you can drive around at monster rallies and jump over other cars. But also, they're part of the roller skate. The thing that actually holds your wheels onto the skate and is attached to the plate, this part right here, is the trucks. So if someone's referring to the trucks, they're referring to either this or this part of the skate. That is when I took off the wheels, I'm attaching them again to the trucks of the skate. So the reason why we love our trucks is because we can adjust them to be tighter or looser, and this is going to help us to do different things when we're on our skates. Your trucks will come at a certain level of tightness, and this might not be the best level of tightness for you. It might be too tight. It might be too loose. So it's really important to adjust them to your preference. Going into this video, there is not one way that is the best way to have your trucks. You can have them looser, you can have them tighter. It really is skater's preference. So why would you want looser trucks? Looser trucks helps you with edge work. Now, what does edge work mean? Edge work means that you are going to be able to lean to one side or the other with your boot, and that's going to enable you to turn easier. So the looser your trucks are, the more you're going to be able to lean on your edges either way, and that will immediately take you into a turn one way or the other, depending on how much you lean. Many times people will loosen their trucks if they want to carve. So if they're going down a hill and they want to carve down that hill, or they're at the skate park, they're in the bowl, they're trying to carve the bowl, they might have looser trucks or loosen their trucks specifically for that. The reason why people would tighten their trucks, when you're tightening your trucks, what you're doing is you're giving yourself more stability and structure, and you're inhibiting your movement on your edges. So if you are looking to do a lot of turns, you would not tighten your trucks. But if you're maybe trying to go down a hill and you're bombing a hill and you don't want to get the wobbles, which is something that can happen sometimes when your trucks are loose and you're going down hills, then you might want to tighten your trucks. Other people I know might tighten their trucks if they are doing like really intense tricks and they're trying to land them in a certain way that doesn't have any give. They might have tighter trucks. But honestly, again, all skaters' preference. So now I'm going to show you how to actually tighten and loosen your trucks. It's actually a lot easier than it may seem. When I first started skating and like doing maintenance on my skates, I was really intimidated by loosening and tightening my trucks because I didn't feel like I was a good enough skater to understand what they did. But the thing is, you're just going to loosen them or tighten them, and then you're going to try it. You're going to come back and be like, oh, that didn't work, or that really worked for me. And then you're going to continue to adjust them. So this isn't a one and done type of a thing, but rather you're going to continuously do throughout your skating journey. All right, let's jump right into it. So real quick, before we get into actually loosening or tightening our trucks, I want to give you a short anatomy of skate lesson. Now, this is going to be the plate. The plate is what the truck is attached to. This is the toe stop, our wheels, and then what the truck is actually this little bar right here that goes down into the plate and then also is one loop around the kingpin, which is right here. So the truck part, how loose or how tight this goes back and forth, that's what we're talking about right now. The way we are going to loosen or tighten this is by loosening or tightening this axle nut that is on the kingpin. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tool or our socket wrench, if you have one that is the right size. We are going to put that onto the axle nut, and then we are going to turn it to loosen it or turn it to tighten it. So when you're adjusting your trucks, it's really important that you keep the front two trucks of your skates at the same exact looseness or tightness, and you keep the back two trucks at the exact same looseness and tightness as each other. It is completely subjective, up to you how much you want to match up like the front and the back trucks, but most of the time you are going to want to start by loosening and tightening all of your trucks to the same level, and then from there you can try and adjust further. Maybe you want the back trucks to be looser or the front trucks to be looser. But when we're talking about the same level, I'm talking exact. You want to make sure that these threads, that you count them. And you're counting them not just on this skate, but on your other skate. So on your amount of threads that you've counted, you need to make sure that those are exactly even. Another thing you can do is when you're actually like tightening or loosening them, you can count the number of rotations that you are doing on the loosening with the tool. So I will often do like a full turn or even just a half a turn to start me out, because a little bit goes a long way when it comes to loosening or tightening your trucks. Okay. So now let's talk about actually getting in here and doing it. So we are going to loosen these trucks because these trucks are really tight. Like if I go like this, like it barely moves at all. And most that you see it moving is because I'm actually moving the boot a little bit with my thumbs. So when I just go like this and I try and move it, it doesn't move at all. So I'm going to loosen them. But first, I am going to count the number of threads that we've got going here. So it looks like I can see 1, 2 threads. So I can see 2 threads on the top here. And I'm going to see what you can do on the top over here. 1, 2, almost 3. So already, this one is going to be a little bit tighter than this one. So let's loosen them up. So in order to loosen or tighten your trucks, you're going to need a tool. So the tool could be a Y tool like this. It could be one of the T tools. It just needs to have this guy right here. Now this part of the tool is what's going to be able to go onto the nut on the kingpin on your trucks. And that is what is going to be able to loosen or tighten depending on what you're interested in. So you need this tool, and then all we're doing is we are going to go onto the nut of the kingpin and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so I'm going to the left. So I'm going to go a half, and I'm just going to check on it. Okay, yeah. I'm going to go another half, so I'm keeping in mind, okay, I've done a full rotation. I'm going to exaggerate it so you can understand what a loose truck might look like. So now that I've loosened it 2 rotations, I can go like this with the truck, which has a lot more movement to it than it did before. So when you're pushing your weight from side to side, your boot's going to lean more towards one side or the other when your trucks are looser, which is going to allow you to put that weight on that edge and use the edge really when you're trying to skate. One thing you do have to look out for though when you are loosening your trucks is if you loosen it too much, then you are going to end up really unstable. So these I loosened a lot. Like if you look at this, I can easily go like that with the trucks. That is too loose. that is going to be dangerous. When you are skating in this, you might feel like you are drunk. You might feel like you are a little toddler again trying to walk, and it is way more likely for you to lose your balance, or even if they're loose enough and this distance is small, which in some skates it is, then your boot has the possibility of hitting the wheel. And anytime your boot is hitting the wheel when you're turning, which this is getting pretty close.
And if you're like full weight body.
And yeah, and if you had full weight in it, if your boot is touching the wheel, that is danger. You do not want your boot to be that. That is way, way, way too loose. So, in loosening and tightening it, there are a lot of benefits to loosening and tightening your trucks. I definitely recommend that you try it, especially when you first get a new pair of skates. Your trucks are just going to be set at manufacturer settings, and that's not necessarily the best for any skater. So you want to go in, customize your skates to the best of your desires, and just to really make sure that you are being safe about it. So really quick recap. This is a truck. The truck is the metal part that connects your wheels to each other and then goes into the plate. You can loosen the nut or tighten the nut by using a tool that has a little socket ending like this and putting it on the axle nut and then righty-tighty, lefty-loosey that thing until it is either tight enough or loose enough to your standards. Having looser trucks allows you to use your edge work. It allows you to turn a little bit easier, and it gives you a little bit more flow as you're skating. Having tighter trucks gives you more stability and more structure to the skate, and so you're not really going to have that ability to veer off as you are skating. You would have to pick up your skate and set it down in order to turn. You can loosen your trucks too much. If you do, that is unstable and not going to be safe for you. If you tighten your trucks too much, you're just going to feel like it's really hard for you to turn. So it won't endanger you if you tighten your trucks too much, but it will endanger you if you loosen your trucks too much. Your front two trucks on both of your skates need to be at the exact same looseness or tightness, and your back two trucks need to be at the exact same looseness or tightness. Your front and back together can be the same or can be different, and you should try out different combinations because it will help you to do different things, and you might enjoy one over the other when it comes to feeling. Your trucks are all about your preference. I encourage you to try messing around with your trucks. Explore. Get to know your skates a little bit better and see how they feel once you've messed around with them and put them on the ground and hit the pavement.
How do you like your skates? Do you keep the front and the back equally loose, or do you keep one or the other?
I keep my trucks, all of them the same. And I keep them all pretty loose.
I've discovered that I like my front wheels more loose than my back.
Really?
Yeah, because my weight might be a little more in the back, but like, I feel like it's more like this. Like I can whip forward. I played with it. It's something I discovered like in the last 4 months.
Yeah, so I found that the skates that I have all end up being hella loose, and then I have to pull it back a little bit because I loosen them too much. It's literally just based on what I'm trying to do. It's less about the type of skating and more what am I doing? So yeah, you're right. When we're on the mini ramp, I want my trucks a little bit tighter, but when I'm in a bowl, I want them a little bit looser. When I'm going down a hill, I like them to be a little bit looser because I like that kind of flowing feeling. And then when I'm dance skating, I like them a little bit looser because I feel like it gives my ankle a little bit more range of motion. Yeah, I don't know. But when I'm spinning, when I'm trying to work on my 2-foot spins, I like them tighter. So I don't know. It really is up to you. And I really encourage you to try putting your trucks at different loose levels or tight levels because you you never know what you like until you try it. And like what works for me may work for you, but it may not work for you at all. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully you have learned a little bit more about your skates. If you want to support me, you can shop at my Cheers to the Queers Etsy shop, or you can become a Patreon. But most importantly, cheers to the queers! Wow, you hear those trucks?
They ain't trucking around.
They're not trucking around. They're like, no trucks given. Get the truck out of here. I got a rebel soul.